It's the number one question I get asked. What type of coach should I be? Instead, what exactly is my superpower? Hey there, my friend, it's Super Sid, the Business Shaman, and in today's video, I want to talk to you about something that we call the Superpower Solution Finder. It's no secret that the coaching industry has exploded over the past few years, and there's more coaches now than ever. But there's one question that we keep getting asked. Sid, I want to become a coach, but I don't know what type of coach I should be. So recently, in our community full of hundreds of coaches and healers, we went live and we did a workshop talking about the step-by-step that you can follow and that we follow and take our clients through when finding out what type of coach you should be. We call it our Superpower Solution Finder, and through a few steps we can go out there and identify specifically not only what type of coach we should be, but what type of coach is going to be best for us to go out there and start making money. Without any further ado, let's head in to this training.
We're going to start with day one and the first step today. And that first step, after we get some water, y'all hear me talk about this on every video. Always grab water. So again, if you want me and Tiffany to put together your strategy, like I'll walk with you through these 10 steps, I'll tell you exactly what you need to do. And we'll put together your plan. If that's something you want to do, just put a 1 down there in the comments. And if you are live, let me know that you're alive by putting a hashtag live in the comments. If you catch the replay, please let me know. I have a special gift for you that's going to be able to help you do what we're going to talk about today in about half the time. Okay, so I want to make sure that I get that over to you because we all win when we all win. And I'm hoping, and I want to make sure that you all get rewarded for making a choice to win today, because this entire community and all of us involved should be rewarded for getting up. Right? There was other people that didn't get up. We should be rewarded for getting up and going out there and telling our story, rewarded for getting up and going out there and helping others win. So I want to make sure that I reward you, and I want to make sure that we are able to work together to help you go out there and make more of an impact. Because when you and everybody else in this group go out there and make more of an impact, that's what happens. The world really does become a better place, not just because, it becomes a better place because we're leaving our legacies and we're leaving people doing things that we've been taught that were typically our superpowers and allowing them to go out there and do those same things, usually better than us, meaning that the world is then becoming a better place because your footprint, your handprint, your prints are all over it. Okay, so that's what we want to do. So the first thing we're going to talk about is what we classify as your solution finder. I came up with some pretty interesting titles to try to do my best to keep you all confused. This one, though, is pretty simple. We're going to be looking for the solution that you want to provide. So ultimately, right, this has to do with a lot of art. And there's no real formula for me to say, hey, right, this is what your superpower is, but I'm going to give you a couple of pointers today, and I'm going to go over with you how you find this, and ultimately, right, the specific ways that you can go out and you can, you can go out there and start a business with this. Okay. So first things first, right, when we look at a solution is typically going to be a framework, a system, right, a process, a step-by-step, whatever it might be, but it's going to be something like that is going to be helping people, right, get to something they want to get to. So if we look at it like this, right, this is life. Okay, that's life. That's life. All of our lives, right? I think I did that right. We'll find out. Some one of those sorts. And I think this is time. I think it's life and time on both sides. So you can look at it both ways. Okay. So when you look at this, right, you're going to look at this is where someone is experiencing times right now where they could start working with you, but they just became qualified. And this here is like where you can get them to. Okay. So example, and I'm not going to use my example. I'm going to use an example of someone who I've worked with in the past in regards to relationships. And some of you all might have heard this example before. It's a great example. But ultimately, right, I had a friend of mine that started working with me, and he was wanting to help divorced couples, right? He was wanting to help, divorced people who had just gotten divorced. And his whole goal was, he was like, I can help, people in relationships, people who just got divorced, but that was like too broad. So I said, okay, let's narrow it down. Let's narrow it down into like, what is the specific thing you want to help them with? And he was like, well, I can help them with it, right? And I get that. But in a business, in a for-profit business, right, we're helping people with one solution first, and we're getting people to say yes to that one solution. And then we're usually building stuff around that one solution so that we can support that major solution and carrying its own weight, and also make sure that major solution grows. Now, obviously, I go over exactly how we do that with our clients. I help you build all of these supports that push that major solution. But the first thing we got to build is your major solution, your major offer, right? Which we classify as your core offer. So that's what we're going to be talking about in the next few days. But ultimately, right, like that's the first thing that we want to build. So when we're building your core offer, right, the first thing we need to identify on that core offer is what are you solving? What is the solution that you're providing? What is the thing or the big promise that someone's going to get? But here's the big one. What is the new reality that someone is going to be able to live in after they work with you, right? I think it's so interesting that people look at the world and they're like, well, that's not possible because it's not me. Well, the truth is it is possible because there's somebody else out there doing it who was you at one spot or had the problems that you once have. So just because you can't see the reality that you want doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It's existing out there right now. For those of you that don't want to make more money, there's billionaires out there right now making billions with a B of dollars each year in a very ethical way. So it's not that it's not possible. It's that our experiences haven't allowed us to see that reality, right? Maybe you're sitting there and you're wanting to be married, but you can't figure out how to find your soulmate, right? Well, you're sitting there and you're saying, well, maybe I'm a victim and maybe it's just because of me. But the truth is there's tons of people out there, millions of people out there who are happily married, who are in that same position and never thought they'd find somebody. I'm not getting anybody, I'm just making stuff up. But like, on and on and on we go. And then if you want to look at health, right, you could say the same thing. You're overweight, you're not happy with your appearance, whatever it might be. But ultimately, right, so those are just basic things. But I circled around those three core markets that we're going to be going over tomorrow in the niches section. That's really going to, what is one of those things? Right. So in this example, we were in the relationships marketplace. And then he's like, well, I can help people with the relationships. All right, let's dial that down. Well, I want to help people who are divorced. Okay, let's dial that down. What do you want to help divorced people do? I want to help divorced people go out there and be able to date again. Awesome. So we came up with something that was bam, right? First date. The first date, he's not helping people go out there and get married, but he's helping people go out there and start the process again of being able to find their soulmate. So when we're going out there, and we're talking to people what we can help them do, we're not talking to them about helping them find their soulmate. We're talking to them about getting to their first date. That's the result we're helping. Date. It's a tangible result we're helping them get to. All right. To qualify. Okay. To qualify, they had to be what? You heard me talk. They had to be divorced, right? They had to be divorced. This means my homeboy isn't going to be reaching out to me. I'm happily married. My homeboy isn't going to be reaching out to anybody who's never been married because they don't qualify. He can tell them whatever story he wants, no matter how good he is. They don't need help because they're not divorced. And that right there is going to cut off 95% of people, whatever it is, 50% of people in the market, whatever it is. But that, people, I think a big mistake that they don't qualify people. They sell to everybody. And they don't know what they're doing. And all of it comes into, they don't know their solution. They don't know when people can start working with them. They don't know the experiences that people are having right now. And the big part of this comes down to the research. And I'm going to go over that right now. Okay. We're here in a second. Next thing we did is we built what's called a framework. Okay. A framework is nothing more than steps, right? If you just got divorced, here's step 1, step 2, and step 3. That's going to help you. And then, to get you to the first date. Some people will call these, what we classify these within your framework, these are going to be your pillars. Okay, that's what we would classify these, your pillars. Okay, so ultimately, when we were building this out with my homeboy, right, first one was like you got to go through a divorce detox, right? So you got to like detox yourself from the divorce and emotionally get away from it, right? And there's an explanation along the way. Next one you would have to do is you would, what was it? Divorce detox, and then this one was the modern dating. What was this one? Oh, yeah. So you would have to basically go through a confidence and self-esteem class because a lot of people would find, right? So he would have this whole process and framework of going and like boosting your confidence, right? So it was like a confidence thing they had to pass, right? So that was the second thing. So first they had a detox and they kind of had to get themselves back to neutral. Second thing they had to do is they kind of had to get confidence in who they were again and kind of get confidence in loving themselves again, right? And last thing they had was what was called modern dating. The modern dating system, I think that's what it was. And this was basically like helping people who basically learn how to go out there and date again for the first time. And then once they understood and went through this system and they started following this system after feeling good about themselves, after divorcing from or detoxing from their divorce, after following this framework, many of them got to their first date. Okay. Now, because of that, the result that they wanted when they got in versus where they were when they started, right, is the result they wanted. Now, all we do to tie this around is then we make a promise that if they follow our system, they can do this in X time. Okay. So as we're doing this, right, you're promising a result. That result is a solution you provide. Say it again. You're promising a result they can get. That promise is a solution you provide. We then take this solution and we reverse engineer to where they are qualified. So when is someone qualified with you? When can someone start the journey with you? Right? And then what we do is then we build stepping stones, a framework in helping them get there. Okay. It does, and as you can see here, a divorce detox. No, these are just steps, right? So when you're look now, a lot of people here are going to say, okay, Sid, so that's awesome. So where's my results stem from? Well, we're going to go into a lot more detail about this tomorrow, but the 3 core marketplaces that your solution is going to sit in as a coach or a healer at any capacity, to be honest with you, in any business at any capacity, to be honest, is going to be 3. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3. First one is going to be health. Can't spell. That's right. Health. I don't think I can spell it today, but it's cool. Wealth. And then the last one's going to be what we just talked about was relationships. So anyway, so you look at this here and you're going to be like, okay, well, so you look at this here and you're going to be like, well, okay, so the result is going to be the solution. Let me say that again. The result that you are providing is going to be the solution. So what that means is that whatever solution you provide is what you're going to typically be helping them get to. That is an absolutely amazing way to start, right? Keep this simple, 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 simple. Do not get any simple, right? Simple, right? So the next thing we want to do is we typically want to go into the big scenario and we want to write everything out. Okay, so we start wanting to build this framework. So what we'll want to do is I will typically just pull out a T-chart, or not even a T-chart, but I'll just go on like here, and I'll literally just start doing 1, 2, 3, and I'll literally brainstorm it. Okay, so one of the things, there's two of the first things that I would, well, really the 3 things that I would like for you all to do, right here is when we look at all this. Well, first of all, if you're wanting to, you see this process, you go, oh wow, this does make sense. Then, obviously comment 1. I want to be able to help you. I want to get on the phone with you. I want to work with you on these 10 steps and build out a plan for you. Me and Tip both do. Next is obviously I want you, if you're live, I got a free gift for you. This is going to work you through this whole finder stuff. It's going to help you do it a lot faster. So if you'd like to just comment live, I'll get you over that free worksheet, as well as comment replay. I'll do the same thing. So anyway, so wanted to ultimately go over this stuff with you. So here's what I want you to do. First things first, gut feeling, right? Before we go into who we want to help, that's the next step. What is the solution? What kind of coach do you want to be? No, not who yet. What? Okay. Once we figure out what, do we want to be a health coach, wealth coach, relationship coach? Okay, which one of those core markets do we want to fall into? Second step is inside one of those core markets, what's our big promise? Right? We saw from this example here that a first date, or this case study here, technically, this first date, right, fell underneath the relationship market. They had just gotten divorced. They wanted to find love again. So it fell under that relationship marketplace. However, it's not the only thing that does. Relationships, you have relationships with yourself, relationship with your kids, relationship with your parents, relationship with your friends, relationship with yourself because you don't have any friends, whatever it might be. But ultimately, right, you could take, right, one of those many of different types of relationships, and then you could become one of those experts. But we even took it a bit further, and then we took one of those relationships and we literally built out a program for a very specific time in one of those relationships. This is when one of those relationships ends, they get divorced, and then they take one of those people who got divorced and they help them start dating. By doing this as a coach, you're going to have a lot more happier people in the marketplace, right? And people are going to be more happy. So this is helping more people. Anyone that you all are helping, I think the simplest things, one of the biggest problems that people have is they don't think that they're an expert in anything. And the truth is those are usually the ones that are like the smartest and have the most expertise, because guess what, right? They're so good at what they do. They think it's so simple. They don't, it's so unconsciously already happening. So here's something I want you all to do as well. So after you figure this stuff out, right? Before we go and brainstorm, because a lot of people are going to get stuck on, well, I don't know what my superpower is. I don't know what it is. Here's what you do. Here's what you do. This is it. This is exactly what I tell people. People who pay me lots of money, this is exactly what I tell them. I want you to go and I want you to pick out your 10 closest people in your life. This could be family. This could be friends, people you know. If it's not 10, then pick 5. If it's not 5, then pick 3. You got 3 people you can reach out to. 10 is ideal. What I want you to do, this is something Tiffany once made me do, and she's done it before as well. I want you to reach out to them and say, just ask them a simple question. Tell them that you love them. Ask them if it's okay if you get their opinion on something, of course. Don't just shove this down their throat. But, just say, hey, I'm working on something. I'm working on my life. And, I'm just really wanting to figure out what I'm good at. And I was hoping that you might be able to let me know, what you believe that I'm best skilled at, or what you see that I'm really good at that you might want me to help teach you someday, and help you become better at it. Now, our goal is that a lot of these people who are closest to you that have spent a lot of time with you is they're going to start telling you the same things. And they're going to start telling you, right, the patterns at which, right, you are following, the things in which you are doing. They're going to start telling you things that you probably do so subconsciously that you've done since you were a kid, that it's so buried in the fact that people are begging to want to learn that skill, that to you, it's just normal. And a lot of times it takes us getting out of our own skin and putting ourselves on, putting ourselves out there to the world and asking the world what they would like to learn from us. Because at the end of the day, there's that one thing that people are all like, man, I wish I could do it like that guy or that gal or that person. We all carry that because we were put here to better the people who were here in this time. I'm a big believer all of us are here for a reason. I know that's cliche and this and that. You can call me what you want. It's fine. But I do believe that all of us, because I have it, and I see others that have it every day. And I'm confident that you have it. And it's just a matter about taking a couple of steps and figuring out what it is and then going out there and putting some love on some people. That's it. And then once you figure out what it is, you then just start brainstorming right after the result. How do I get to this result? A to Z, step by step. And then you brainstorm that down.
It's no secret. Once we identify what type of superpower that we have and exactly how we can go out there and we can help people, going out there and signing up new clients in our coaching business is really, really easy. And if you're looking to go out there and sign up new clients for your coaching business and specifically go out there and create a 10K payday, then I'd love to give you our free course called the 10 Steps to Creating a 10K Payday right now for free. It's down there in the description, and right now you can go down there and grab your free course called the 10 Steps to Creating a 10K Payday, which is going to walk you through the 10 specific steps, the Superpower Solution Finder being step 1, that is going to help you go out there and build a system of creating consistent 10K paydays as a successful coach or healer. I'm super excited that you came and visited us today, and don't forget, we all win when we all win. Let's go out there and let's make a choice to win today. We'll see you in the next video.